Well, the severity of it can entirely be attributed to climate change. I mean, the global warming we have seen over the past 50 years, and which is clearly mostly due to the accumulation of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, such as CO2, is intensifying extreme events such as heat waves and droughts and that kind of things. And what we are seeing now is just an example of what, unfortunately, we're going to see more and more in the coming years and decades unless we succeed as humanity to reduce global emissions of greenhouse gases to zero as quickly as possible.
And we've seen record highs as far north as Sweden this summer. You say we're going to see more and more of these kind of high temperatures, but do you think that heat waves are set to become the norm during the summer months here in Europe?
Well, it will certainly become more and more frequent, and what was exceptional a few years ago will become progressively the norm, and we will see, unfortunately, more and more of those events unless we succeed to implement the Paris Agreement and reduce greenhouse gas emissions.
And we've seen the EU as well in recent months. It's announced new policies to reduce the use of plastics. But what else can we do in order to try to combat climate change?
Well, the main cause of climate change is the burning of fossil fuels, that is the burning of coal, oil and gas, and also deforestation. So every time we succeed using more renewable energy, for example, or using energy more efficiently, with less wastage and reducing the usage of fossil fuel and fighting against deforestation, it's a contribution that plays a positive role to limit climate change and reduce it.
And we're not talking about just high temperatures and heat waves and that type of thing. It's not just the temperatures and the weather that we're seeing changes with. We've seen authorities also in Poland and Sweden, they're warning people against swimming in the sea because of toxic algae. So there are other problems that perhaps we may not initially think of when we think about climate change.
Absolutely. I mean, the IPCC, which is the UN panel of experts working on climate change, has devoted volumes and thousands of pages about the possible impact of climate change. And indeed, potentially, climate change can affect all kinds of human activities, from agriculture to health to the economy itself. And it's high time that we address this issue much more seriously than what has been done up to now.